Hey, how's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And you might be wondering what's in this nondescript box that has no marketing, no labels, no flashy colors. I'll give you a hint. It's a dead Reckon Ridgeback. Okay, I just told you what was in here. I'm not good at hiding these things. Guys, this came my way from Blade Runner HQ. I bought this from them. And if you're thinking about this knife, I highly suggest reaching out to Blade Runner HQ. I will link to their website in the description. It's not an affiliate link. Without further ado, when you open the box, you get two things. First, you get this certificate of authenticity. It's going to tell you the model number, the finish, the steel, who inspected it, so we know who to hold responsible if something is wrong. And yeah, the body style and the materials. All in all, pretty standard stuff. Now, one thing that is missing from this is a serial number. And being a completely American-made knife, that is something that I would like to see, is a serial number. But the reason why you're here is this guy. This is the Dead Reckon Ridgeback Wharncleaver. And I gotta say, guys, this is a knife that has surprised me on so many levels. And if you haven't been able to tell, this knife has been out of the box for a while. I've been carrying this for the last 2 or 3 days. I've been doing some research as well because I wanted to make sure that everything that I told you is accurate to the best of my knowledge. And there are some very exciting details about this knife. Let's start off talking about what does it cost? Well, this specific version with the aluminum handle scales and the MagnaCut blade is going to cost $375. If you prefer titanium instead of aluminum and you want to sacrifice an extra ounce to get it, that will cost you $475. And if you want one in 3V, those cost a little bit less, and you can get those for $335 and $435 respectively. With that being said, the market is shifting, and we are seeing more of these becoming available in MagnaCut than any other blade steel, and so I hope you like MagnaCut. The blade is just over 4 inches long, and like I mentioned, it is MagnaCut. Dead Reckon claims that this MagnaCut is heat treated between 63 and 65 HRC, although to be honest, I haven't witnessed any third-party testing to verify that. If that's true, that means that it's actually the ideal range for MagnaCut, according to the metallurgist that invented it. Dr. Laren Thomas has stated several times that 63 to 65 is, in fact, the ideal HRC for MagnaCut on a folding knife. It's going to give you similar edge retention to S45 VN with the toughness of 10V and absolutely mythical levels of corrosion resistance. The chassis is 7075 T6 aluminum. And for those who don't know about aluminum, this is aerospace grade aluminum. Most commonly on folding knives, we typically see 6061 aluminum, and there's nothing wrong with 6061 aluminum. It's a very good handle scale material, but 7075 is on a whole nother level. Here's the difference, okay? It has twice the tensile strength of 6061 aluminum and 1.5 times the shear strength, all while maintaining a Rockwell hardness of around 87. To give you an idea, to give you an example of just how good that is, DLC coatings typically have 80 to 85 HRC in the upper echelons. So this is going to be very hard and very scratch resistant, which is important to a lot of people. 6061 by contrast just doesn't have that. When you look at this, you might be thinking, great, it's another plunge lock, button lock design. That's not necessarily telling the whole story. And I mention that because when you actuate this, you don't actually get to see the parts moving back here, but I can tell you it does not feel like a plunge lock design, and it is actually patent pending because they are working on getting this patented. This is their proprietary button lock design. And if it was like every other button lock design out there, let's keep it real, they wouldn't be able to submit a utility patent for it. because I haven't taken this apart, because doing so would void the warranty, I'm not sure exactly how different it is, and I'm still waiting for a brave soul to take theirs apart and sacrifice their lifetime warranty to tell us just exactly how it differs from a traditional button lock. Having experienced this and having experienced many plunge lock knives before, including knives like the ProTech Malibu and knives like the Chapman Lake Knives CLK2D, I can tell you that this far and away feels more solid, and the lockup is extremely good. It's very good, and to boot, it feels like it has an actual ceramic detent ball, which, well, quite honestly, it does not, but it acts like it, it feels like it even sounds like it. Listen to this. The typical give that you get out of a traditional plunge lock design right from the close is not evident here. It feels like you're breaking a ceramic detent, and that's pretty damn cool. Given that it's an integral design and it's all one piece, that's a lot of technology to go into something that you really can't access. And speaking of it being an integral, you might notice that there is absolutely no billboarding on this blade. The guys over at Dead Reckon have stated in the past that they don't like billboarding, so instead they just use their logo as the filler tab for this 3D milled pocket clip. So when you flip the pocket clip over, you can flip it to the other side. That's their logo. That's the only place where you can actually see a maker's mark on here, and that's pretty damn cool. The blade finish is kind of this, they call it a dark stonewash. It doesn't look quite like any other dark stonewash that I've ever encountered. You get a lot of different levels of variation here in that stonewash. It kind of reminds me of like a battle-worn finish or an apocalyptic finish, and I'm really enjoying it. This is a blade finish that is going to encourage you to use your knife, and the guys over at Dead Reckon definitely want you to use this knife. They are former military, and so when they make a tool, they want it to be something that can be used and can be used in confidence, and with a finish like this, you absolutely can. Now, when I bought this from Blade Runner HQ, I had a couple expectations. I thought, you know what, it's going to be another button lock. I may end up regretting my purchase, but I actually really don't. I'm enjoying this a lot. This is unlike any other knife that I have encountered. It's unlike any other button lock that I've encountered. It has the detent feel of something like a compression button lock like we see on the Spyderco Smock, but it doesn't have a compression lock. It doesn't have the same wishy-washy detent action that you get out of a traditional plunge lock. This feels way more solid. On top of that, the ergos are really good. There is no body screws because it's an integral, and the balance is fantastic. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I think I'm just going to get the titanium version, and that's cool. If that's what you want, they have those available as well. However, hear me out. To get a knife like this that actually has a higher strength to weight ratio than titanium with this T7075 T6 aluminum, you are basically sacrificing an ounce of weight. The titanium version weighs an ounce more. This is going to come in at about 4.4 ounces. The titanium version, 5.4 ounces. On top of that, to get this in titanium, you spend $100 more. The knife feels perfect with the weight that it currently has in its aluminum format, and I personally can't imagine adding another ounce just for the sake of having titanium when the 7075 aluminum is 100% the way to go. Now, if you don't like this Wharncleaver shape, and some people won't, but I do. This is actually my preferred blade shape. You can, in fact, get this with a more drop point style blade, and that blade is a little bit shorter. So if you're like me and you do actually prefer there to be a good blade to handle scale ratio, this is going to definitely fit the bill. I've been carrying this every day. It's been my go-to carry since it came in about 2 or 3 days ago, and I have absolutely no regrets. For $375, you'd be hard-pressed to find another American-made integral button lock with all of this technology and all of this design behind it. And quite frankly, it's about time. It's about time that American-made manufacturers get back to work to doing what we do best, and that is creating amazing products that are not just works of art, but also hardcore tools that you can rely on every single day. I've been thinking a lot about this knife, and I finally got a chance to share it with you. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Have you been considering one of these? Have you been looking for one of these? I know that these are sold out pretty much everywhere. They are still available in both the titanium and the aluminum formats on the Blade Runner HQ website. So if you want one, check them out. Links in the description. And if you want to watch more awesome knife and EDC content, go ahead and click on one of the videos that pops up next.